Hello and welcome to another episode of Industry Celebrities and TAAEF Room to Grow podcast. Texas Apartment Association Education Foundation. Did you know what that's standing for, Patrick?
It's a mouthful.
I know it is. I'm ThatKimberly, also known as Kimberly Scott when you talk to my mom. And I am here today at the ALN offices visiting with my friend Patrick. Hi, Patrick.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Yay. Thank you for joining me,
Sure.
and I'm glad you're brave.
I'm thrilled.
Yay. Well, good. I'm harmless. I promise I won't ask you anything that might get you into trouble.
Well, that's true.
Okay.
I thought that's what we were here for.
Oh, okay. Darn. Well. All right. So, for context, give the audience a little bit about who you are and where you're from before I get into how you got into the apartment.
My name is Patrick Searcy. I am the director of marketing for ALN Apartment Data. I'm from Dallas, Fort Worth, born and raised.
Are you a Cowboys fan?
I'm not a big football fan.
Okay.
I'm a Texas Rangers fan.
Cool.
Love baseball. Not big on really any other sports, but
Okay.
I guess fair weather other sports. Hey, if they're doing well, good for them.
Yeah?
So it's been a long time
Okay.
since I've said good for them. So yeah, born and raised here. I grew up in Plano. It's home.
Yes.
It's home. People say that Texas is the best country in the United States, and I say that Dallas is the best city in that country.
Aw,
So
look at you. I say
I love
Austin and Houston.
Yeah,
And
nobody's
then
perfect.
now I say Dallas,
Right.
but I do have affection for Dallas, don't get me wrong.
Sure.
So, what industry are you in?
The multifamily industry.
Okay,
yes.
just want to make sure.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Currently in the multifamily industry.
Well, then how did you find the multifamily industry?
It found me.
Oh, really?
It
Tell
found
me the story.
It totally found me. My background's mostly service industry, restaurants.
Okay.
From 18, that was my first real full-time job.
Yeah, me too.
Starting college, and that's what I was doing, was waiting tables, and
Uh-huh.
I loved it. I absolutely adored it. I was a corporate trainer eventually, so I traveled the country,
Uh-huh.
opened up new restaurants, and worked every position you can think of. The only thing I never did was I was never a general manager of a restaurant, but I did management and all this. I loved it.
Yeah.
On the side, and going back into my teen years, I've been a musician. I love music, writing music. I was in bands.
So you're creative of sorts.
Something like that, yeah. Sure, that's what you want to call it. More angsty than anything at that time. But I spent a lot of time in recording studios. That got me real interested in like audio engineering and stuff like that. Eventually, on the side, I ended up working as a karaoke DJ.
Awesome.
Yeah. And that's actually how I met the owner of ALN Apartment Data.
Wow.
Was that he'd come around that place, and
He liked karaoke as well?
he liked seeing other people do karaoke.
Okay.
Yeah. I've known him for many years. I've never seen him do karaoke.
Aw,
before,
come
but-
on.
Yeah, I've never
Wait,
seen
no.
it. Never seen him do it.
Okay.
Laura, I think once or twice, but
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, it's just kind of one thing turned into another, and they haven't asked me to stop coming in yet, and that was 12 years ago.
So they
I was in
recruited
07.
you. They were the ones who
recruited me,
recruited you
yeah.
into the apartment. And how many years now has it been?
Since 07, so it's 12 years, yeah.
Wow.
12 long years.
So what appealed to you going from the, service industry world to a quote unquote real job like Casey Kuhn, shout out Casey Kuhn and I discussed.
She and I have talked about this before.
The bartending
that
part.
my job doesn't end at 2 a.m. That's what appealed
What?
to me. Yeah, is that it doesn't.
Only
doesn't
if you
go into
wanted
2
to end at 2 a.m.
Yeah, only if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Only if I wanted to.
Yeah, because we work hard, but...
I wanted the stability, and I was real interested in, I remember the first time I asked Wayne, what do you do? What is it that your company does? And he said all these really fancy words. Well, I thought fancy words, and effective rent, and I've heard both the word effective and rent, but never together. And
Yeah.
so it was real interesting. It was a challenge to learn something new. And I had done some sales before. I sold cars and.
Well, but you're in the bartending business is sales.
Yeah,
let's not get it wrong.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. I didn't do a whole lot of bartending myself.
Okay, or waiting tables is
yeah,
sales.
the waiting tables.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of upsells.
Yeah, absolutely. Upselling is...
I was much skinnier than on my feet a lot.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm much skinnier.
Really, when I bartended waiting tables, I was much heavier because I ate all the time, and I didn't get off till 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I tried doing it again. As a matter of fact, I guess it was maybe around 2010.
Yeah.
For the holidays, wanted some extra cash or whatever.
It's hard once you...
I couldn't do it.
Your body... for me, I tried it again. I did it because I had to, but my body just couldn't handle the
It's hard.
Yeah, like it's a lot of, you're walking around everywhere, you're lifting things that you probably, like, sure, whenever one of the bar backs wasn't there and there was a waiter up front, and if I needed a keg lifted and I didn't have that little dolly, I was like, sure, any guy that said, can I lift that? Sure, honey, come on, lift that keg for me, because it hurts.
Yeah, no, it's grueling. It is grueling. It's a very honorable, obviously.
Absolutely, absolutely. Make a lot of money.
Lots of money. It really does take a very specific type of personality to not only just be able to physically handle the job, like you said, but to do it well. And that's, with people.
Yes.
'Cause
you gotta like people.
People are inherently not very nice in restaurants, it feels like.
Well, so my boyfriend is an AGM at Snooze, shout out Snooze, and he says it's because people take food personally. Yeah. And I'd never heard that. And we met when we were both at Chili's way back in the day, 25 years ago. We were just friends. But Brinker trained us how to, whether you were a server, you're a busboy, no matter who, manager, I was a manager at the time, and they train you how to do all these things that customer service related. But at the end of the day, if you didn't show the empathy, if you didn't have the customer service rapport with people, you weren't going to make it, because that's what it came down to.
I had a manager.
Do you not agree?
I totally agree. That's an excellent
I'll get off my
observation.
pedestal.
No, I really never had thought about it like that before. But
I didn't either.
That's articulated well. I had a manager in my management training tell me it's not about comping someone's food. They have a complaint, you just take it off the bill.
Yeah.
Sometimes people just want to be heard.
Yes.
And I got to tell you, I guess I was 19 or 20 at that time. And hearing that, just going, okay, well, I'll give that a go, and it worked well. And then I gave it a go in my personal life. And wouldn't you know, it actually worked quite well there too. And so
that's a whole other podcast.
Yeah, it is a completely different podcast that I signed up to do.
I'll put you down for the relationship one.
That sounds great.
So 12 years later.
12 years later.
And what do you enjoy the most about what you do and our industry?
For my job here at ALN Apartment Data, I love being able to be creative, and I don't have too many barriers on me. Most of my limits that I put on, or that I have for my actual job for marketing, I put on myself. Wayne and Laura are very accommodating in that sense.
Well, they trust you, like you've grown up with them, and they were like Mama, Papa, like in the loving, adoring way, because you were the new kid on the block, so they guided you.
Yeah, and I'm not a kid anymore.
Yeah, you're not a kid
anymore.
Absolutely.
Yeah, gosh, I was all of 26. Yeah, so I love being creative, and I love what I've learned about marketing over the years, about how it's actually a lot more nerdy than I guess I thought.
Let me just give you a little pat on the back, because you're analytical. You're a marketing analytical person. I am not analytical. I am a creative, just like, can't you see this vision?
Right.
And let's just make this happen. What's wrong with you?
You see the unicorn?
Correct.
Yeah.
You are the logistics side as well. And so that, I feel, is a blessing, and then is only a curse to you, because unless you can see all that, will you let that go? Would you not say that's a fair assessment?
No, that's totally fair. There are times,
and I think it's a compliment to you.
Well,
if it's not, I apologize.
No, I take it that way. For my role, I feel like I enjoy how sometimes I'm just the creative. If I'm working on some kind of graphic design or something like that, that's what I get to scratch that itch. Whereas, okay, now it's time to go into like Google Analytics and see what campaigns have worked well, or just the email campaigns themselves, opens and click, whatever it is that really becomes more nerdy. Or building the personas, who does this, who's more likely to do that, and when, and
absolutely.
I love that kind of stuff. So for my job, that's what I love the most. For the industry, I think what I really appreciate about this industry is that it's very welcoming, very welcoming. At all of 26 when I started, I remember very vividly going to...
Yeah, what was the first trade show or the first event you went to?
I don't remember my first trade show, but I do remember my first big event was Toys for Tots, I believe.
Oh,
it was
okay.
Toys for Tots, and I remember Larry Zabinski, shout out to Larry.
Okay.
Susan O'Brien.
Oh yeah, she's been brought up a couple times.
Yeah, those two in particular were very welcoming, and I guess recognized the scared 26-year-old guy that didn't know anything about anything. And I don't know, I guess it helps whenever you know your own limits. And so for me to be able to say, I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's hard for some people to say, I don't know what I don't know. I'm not afraid of that.
Yeah.
I never really have been. So for me to have those types of people just go, well, here's some of the ropes, and here's some do's, here's some don'ts. I've always appreciated that about them. I don't know that I've ever told them that, so I hope they watch this video.
Well, you can send it to them when it's done. Somebody did it for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so therefore, I swear, in that room, in any room that we go to at whatever local event, anywhere in the United States,
sure.
I would like to say, it's not just Texas, and I only know that because I did a lot of networking in the Northeast, but it's our industry. Somebody did that for that individual, and you will always find 1 to 2 people that will do it for you. You know, there are plenty that won't, but there are more. There's probably like a 90% that will say, hey, you know, let me introduce you to this person. Or, hey, I get people that ask me all the time, hey, I have a friend that's just getting into the industry. Would you introduce them at blah, blah, blah conference? Sure, no problem. Just tell them to look for me. Tell them to come to me, because if not, because the trade shows get so busy, I don't want them to think that I wasn't, you know, going to like introduce them or help them out.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Both Dallas and Tarrant County, their associations for their product and service meetings have like new member meetings. And I really enjoy going to those because inevitably, even though I'm not going to make a huge impact in these people's lives, I don't feel, but you know, but I want to make sure that, hey, if you have questions, you know,
let me know.
I'm not like one of those, you know, through the association mentors, you know, they have mentorship programs or whatever, and I'm not in those. But
have you ever volunteered for one?
I should. I've definitely thought about it.
So you're not in any of those programs. Why not?
Truth be told, I don't know. I don't have an answer for you on that. There's not a reason for it.
Yeah, but you just do it when you go to those.
Yeah, I love those meetings. You know, because they say if you participate, then, you know, or if you just show up, if you go to the trade show, all will be well.
Yeah.
Well, that's half the story. Sure. That's what you've retained so far, and that is only half the story. It's not just, you know, you get a booth at a trade show.
No, you have to do a lot. We did a whole class on that.
Yeah.
Beth Rahini and I did a whole class on that. So no, it definitely is participating and networking with other suppliers. Angie Pusatero is one of, you know, my mentors, one of my close friends, but she was one of the first people I met as well as her dad. But she was the one on the supplier side that introduced me to other suppliers that helped me through. And then when she went to another market, I helped her. It's an ongoing thing, and you don't do it because there's anything you're gonna get anything in return, but it's because it's the right thing to do. And then it's because somebody did it for you. Like, it's legitimately that true feeling, you know, majority of the time in our industry.
It was overwhelming starting at ALN and not really knowing much about this job, let alone the industry.
Yeah.
And, you know, to have that kind of hand-holding was here and there was very helpful, and I've always appreciated that. And I think that's probably about the best thing about this industry. There's so many good things.
Yeah.
There are a lot of good
Absolutely.
things. But for me personally, that's...
Yeah. What would you tell somebody coming out of the service industry, or somebody that's looking for a job, whatever industry they're coming from, to consider, you know, multifamily?
Come to the dark side.
Don't say that! Supplier side is the bright side. Yeah. Just because, you know, the whole goal of the Room to Grow podcast is to let other folks that want a career change and they don't know where to go, to also spread the word that there are both opportunities on both sides, the supplier, bright side, and the owner-operated management side. At every level, you know, you just got to pick something and, you know, get out there.
Play to your strengths. I guess that would be, if I were just to be talking to a bartender or something along those lines.
Trying to recruit somebody.
Play to your strengths. There would be something about them, obviously, that would prompt me to have this conversation.
What benefits would you say that is to get them to really, because like for Casey and I, when we talked about that, it was hard. I know from the type of money that bartenders can make, that you go from quick cash, and that was one of the hardest things for any service, for me, as going from the service industry to a 9-to-5 day job. It's hard in the beginning, but
it can be.
Yeah, but once I realized how to budget my money and that I got a regular paycheck every 2 weeks with insurance, it seemed like, I like this a lot better. What do you think?
No, absolutely. Yeah, I would keep cash in envelopes. An envelope, like this envelope was rent, this one was electricity, a word I learned in the industry, prorate. So that's what I did. I prorated the cash that I had.
There you go.
Well, I do have to pick up an extra shift. You know, I don't have to pick up an extra shift. And, you know, I could get to go spend that at a bar. Or something.
Whatever it is, pay bill, whatever it was.
Yeah, obviously there's a reason I would be talking to somebody like that, and then I would tell them, you're going to get what you put into it.
Yes.
And gosh, people say that all the time.
But it's true.
People always say that, and it
true.
sounds so fluffy.
No, it's not.
But it's very substantive.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. And whatever you put in, you get back. Like it's definitely, and you should, because somebody can invite you to the party. Wayne and Laura invited you to the party, but it took you asking someone, quote unquote, to dance, or some quote unquote, hey, can I DJ? Hey, can I participate? If you don't, you can get invited to the party. But if you don't participate, you're not going to get anything out of it.
No, and I mean, I don't go to near as many events these days.
Yeah, it's pretty hard when you're as busy and as nationally as you are.
Yeah, so, but I certainly enjoy all of them, and I have a little bit of a different appreciation for them these days than I once did. I mean, at one point, oh my gosh, another event. And I don't have time.
But now when you don't get to go, you miss it.
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. I feel you. I'm right there with you.
You know, there was something I was thinking about as we were talking to maybe a server or a bartender or something about our industry, is that, you know, looking back at, I don't know, it may be a little bit different now. This is 15, 20 years ago that I was in the industry, that there was a sense of family in the service industry, and that you're also also in the service industry. I once worked there, or something along those lines. And they'll take care of you at that bar.
Yes.
At that restaurant.
Yes.
You don't got to pay for appetizers here or whatever.
You get a discount, or you get
service industry night. I've been to a few of those.
They move you up in the waiting list, or things, so they might approach you first. Multifamily is
locally. There's Megan's Care Team. And I'm sure across the country there are other.
I know Megan's Care Team.
Yeah, and the purpose is to help people going through something pretty traumatic or big. Just life is big. And or send meals, or there's all sorts of help. And I don't know, thinking about that committee in particular.
I think that you're right. Your comparison of how the world of the service and the bar industry is that we have this unspoken respect and kindness, empathy towards anybody that provides a service to someone, hence like the whole tipping thing. 20% or more people, period. I don't care. If you have never waited tables, please do it, and then you'll understand why we say it. But
start at 20.
Correct. You start at 20, you go up from there. Not start at 0 and they might get 10. That didn't work. 10% no go. But my point is that in the multifamily space, we look out after each other. There's that Megan's Care Group. I remember when I had something happen in my life that we don't want me to be in tears about, but that they were so kind, and sent me a beautiful card that just said, we're thinking about you. And it was just one of those things. And I know lots of people that have had tragedy in their lives, that if it wasn't their own company, it was the association, whatever association it was, or it was their friends that they work with that are not at their company, that look out after them and help them. Like, I've had several situations like that my friends came to help me, a management company that I did business with. Like, so I get what you're saying. We take care of each other. Like, we give back. Truly. And we take care of each other.
Truly, and I think that's a huge selling point, if you want to call it that, for the industry. That,
absolutely.
And also plays into the actual substance behind you get what you put in.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good point. I like that very much. So I really appreciate you sitting down and visiting with me today. Tell folks, if they're interested in hearing more about what you're doing, how they can get in touch with you.
You can't. No. Email is the easiest.
What would that be?
Patrick, Patrick, at ALNdata.com.
Okay, and I will put that in the show notes for sure. Cool. Are you on like the Facebook, the LinkedIn, like my boyfriend likes to say?
Am I on the Facebooks? Well, yeah, you can check out ALN's Facebook. That would be awesome. Okay. I post a lot of the stuff there. It's you can just search ALN Apartment Data on Facebook.
And you're also on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, you
can
find me,
connect
Patrick Searcy. Absolutely. Yeah. Come find me on LinkedIn, Patrick Searcy.
Got questions?
Yeah, questions come. Snyder Marks even. I love it.
Well, I appreciate you, Patrick, so much. Thank you again. And to anyone listening, please, if Patrick's advice resonates with you, please comment below, share it with a friend. If you know somebody in the service industry, send this episode to them or tag them in the comments, because we would love to hear from them, and we'd love for them to come and check out multifamily, because there is so much room to grow here that people just don't understand. And remember, sharing is caring. So until next week.
Bye.